The Rodriguez Show.
And we are back on the Rodriguez Show, and we have a very special guest. He's our first guest for the episode. I saw him perform for the first time last year at Kid Vista's event, and it was so fire. Everybody give it up for Villiami. What's up, bro? How's it going?
Yeah. What's good, bro?
Hi, how you been, man? How has it been performing since the pandemic ended?
Man, I mean, it's been cool. You know, like I feel like I got kind of rusty.
Yeah.
Like all that time off, but yeah, I mean, it felt good to finally hop back on that stage. So.
Yeah, you were right, because you've been performing for like over 10 years, and then you had to take a break just like everybody else, and it must have been like a while to get those skills back, right?
Yeah, just to get used to like the crowd interaction. It's like you're relearning everything over again. So it's like, it was cool for me though. Yeah, for sure.
That's dope, man. And the single right away, we'll plug it, Body for Body, and that's out now. And they can follow you on Instagram at Villiami with 3 eyes.
Yes, sir.
And they can see that on the screen if they're watching. So yeah, man, I read a lot about you. Shout out to YBG for sending me all the material.
Yes, sir.
You've been making music in the scene for 10 plus years. And, with that, there's a lot of change. But the one that I wanted to ask you about was, how does the process change now? Like, 10 years ago, did you write a song the same way you write songs now?
Probably 10 years ago, the way I write songs was probably the only way I wrote a song. Okay. Now I'm like, I'll be in the studio. I can just freestyle off the top, punch in, try to build it like that first, like at least 8 bars by 8 bars, kind of. Okay. And then other times I'll just write a song right there if I'm feeling the beat, like I need to take my time with it. Yeah. Or other times, like I'll just be writing with no beat. I'll just write whatever. Whatever's going on in my mind at that moment. Yeah, and then I usually start from the bottom, like the ending of the verse. I usually pick the beginning of the verse. I try to figure that out and the ending, and then work my way in between. Yeah.
Oh, that's an interesting way to do it.
That's how I used to write 10 years ago. And then like that was like my only way of doing it. And then the more I started doing it and getting better at it, like, I kind of have all these processes of how to do it.
Like you got to experiment with different types of
flows,
different types of workflows.
That's good. Yeah, it's good to do that, because like you said, you can't get stuck in one place if you just do it a certain way. Yeah. Cool. So throughout your career, you've been in a few groups, and one of the things that I saw about you was that a couple years ago, actually, you decided, not a couple, but a few years ago, you decided to start releasing music alone versus in a group. So what did you learn from that process, and what made you decide I'm just going to start doing it alone?
In the very beginning, it was just really me and the homies from the neighborhood, so it was just fun. Like it wasn't even like serious or nothing. We didn't even think it was a group. It was just homies, just all doing the same thing. Battling, freestyling. Just going to parties just to start ciphering. Like that's where we would go. And then it evolved into like some homies taking it serious. So then it would go down to like me and my homie Tony, Dino Circle. When we were Dino Circle, it was just the two of us. So I think, and then homies like they end up dedicating their time to different things. Like life happens, you know what I'm saying? I feel like the homies that are doing it right now, that I still talk to and I know that are doing music now, like they're supposed to do it. Yeah. Because that's how they feel about it. Yeah. And then
because somebody that does it for as long as you have, like at this point, like you have to be dedicated, because
right.
you can't, and at the end, like you said, you learn from people, like, hey, eventually life changes and that's not their focus anymore.
Yeah, no, for sure. And that's something I had to understand too, because like it hurts, like sometimes, like, damn, like we could have been something, we could have done this and that. I feel like that's what happens with a lot of groups out here. If you notice, like there's a lot of artists out here in Orange County that start off as like 5-10 deep, like dudes rapping and doing whatever they do. Yeah. And give it like 1 or 2 years maybe,
and then they all
and everyone's
some of them don't even make music anymore after that.
Yeah, and then some of them just like fall off the radar. So I mean, it is what it is, but at the end of the day, it's like I know how to separate like all that stuff, like friends and music and all that shit. Like
it's hard, man. Even us doing the show, we had some people that were here and then they left, and it's like it's hard to separate that sometimes. They're like, it's so part of who you are. The music is so a part of your identity that you're like, well, if you don't want to make the music, you don't want to associate.
You don't want to force it on people neither. You know what I'm saying?
No, 100%. Like you got to give them their kind of like, whatever they kind of want to focus on, like you're saying in life. It comes with whatever it may be, any obstacles or whatever it may, different endeavors that they want to pursue. Pursue, and it's like you kind of just gotta let it happen, because it's like kind of like human nature, really.
Right,
You know,
right.
like everyone has their own paths and shit. So
Yeah,
100%.
that's another thing I had to learn too. Like the real homies that you could call your homies, they're gonna understand it. You know, even like, babe, I don't do this anymore, but go support the homie because he's really doing this shit. You know, so I'm glad that I have those homies still. You know.
Yeah, it's good to have that support system because, like, and I was reading, like you said, you've had a lot of people doubt you along the way.
For
so
sure.
how do you stay level-headed in that sense? Where like, no, I'm doing this shit.
I mean, I feel like earlier I was more vocal about it, maybe, and I was just kind of like, man, why are y'all like doing like I'm nice and this and that, like, and then it just got to a point where it's like, okay, well, I'm just gonna let this speak for itself now.
Yeah,
You know, I feel like that's what it's supposed to be.
yeah,
You know, like if I'm already confident in my music, but I don't need to keep reminding y'all that I am. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's true. And it's also like you have to, I guess, tune out like what everybody's saying and just do it, like you said.
Yeah, that's literally like how we were talking about earlier, like Ferris wheel. That's how it happened.
Yeah.
Like I just tuned everything out and just did it.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about it.
So yeah, so that was one of the moments that kind of changed things for you, where you were like ready to stop making music, and then Ferris wheel was received a certain way because of like. So what can you explain that moment a little bit?
I felt like before Ferris wheel, I was just rapping just for the sake of rapping. You know what I mean? Like I could put like, you know, that's how it started. You know, you want to be the most clever one. You want to come up with all the bars, the punchlines, the metaphors. You know, that's how I came into this.
Yeah.
Learning about all that, how to put a 16 together, how to make the metaphor stretch out a little bit. You know?
Yeah.
So it's like I learned all of that, and I felt like maybe at that time, like it wasn't too respected as it is right now.
Yeah.
Because I see a lot of artists like doing it now. Like it's more about
Yeah.
lyricism and, you know, the essence of what hip hop started out as.
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah. Oh,
You know
I
what
see
I'm
what you're saying. Yeah, and then the style changed and people started appreciating it. Now
So I
more.
felt like, yeah, at that, and then also Ferris wheel was like I was really being vulnerable on that song. Like I was just really treating it like this is my last song, bro. Like I'm done with this shit now.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to do this shit no more. But when people started fucking with it, people started, like homies were hitting me up and like, bro, that's like fuck yeah, Ferris wheel, bro. That's some real Anaheim shit. What the fuck? Hell yeah, bro. You need to do something with that.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, well, I guess I'm gonna run with this. And then I did the EP after that. Like that, but all of that was unplanned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's tight, man. Yeah, and I did see you. We had that one, the performance that it was at the Kid Vista show last year. It was like off the second, the Heights, right? The second,
Yeah.
part 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. And so, like one of the things that you've done in your career along the way was you opened up for so many people. What were some of the events that stand out to you? I know, is it DJ Quick that you had a conversation with?
Man, yeah, that's one of them. Yeah, just that conversation with Quick really changed. I guess that's when I became all right with taking it serious. Like I don't mind being in a bunch of circles or wherever I'm at, and then people just know me as, oh yeah, you're the rapper. Like, that's how I used to get introduced to people. Like, oh yeah, that's your homie. Oh, he's the rapper, right?
He's the one that raps.
He's the one that raps.
Yeah.
So I'm that guy.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's when I accepted it.
Yeah.
That's when Quick had that conversation. It's like, no, if you live it, then live it. Like, don't be ashamed of it. Like, people could tell when you're lying. So, be honest with yourself. Be honest with your music, and people will gravitate toward it.
And I think that's when the best art comes, is when you just stop the act and you just put yourself on whatever the track, or if you're painting, you put yourself on the easel or whatever it is. Like, you just gotta be authentic and people will fuck with it, you know?
So,
Yeah.
None other moment probably was like rocking with Bone Thugs, because I grew up on Bone Thugs. So I mean, opening up for them was like, damn, yeah. Taking picture with Lazy Bone, like hitting the blunt with him. So I was like, yeah,
Damn.
bro. Yeah, bro.
That's tight, man. So how did you? One of the songs that you worked with YBG was Pioneers.
Yes, sir.
How did you guys start working together? That was the initial one, right?
Yeah, that was the first song we did together. I think we always knew of each other. I think this back when like Facebook was really popping, you know what I mean? And then like I used to see like, I think we followed each other on Facebook. We used to see each other post all the time, but like, you know, we just never got, you know, to talking about nothing.
Yeah.
So I think he came out to one of the shows I had in Fullerton, right? Yeah, in Fullerton.
Nice.
And then I went to go see him perform at one of his shows, and we started building it from there, a relationship from there. Like I thought he was cool. I thought he was talented.
Yeah.
He thought it likewise. So yeah, we linked up one day in the studio, and I was like, yo, I got a song for you. I felt like, you know, like the concept of Pioneers, I feel like, you know, YBG himself, like I feel he's a defining voice out here, you know,
Yeah.
Like he's gonna be a household name out here.
Yeah, shout out YBG, man.
Yeah, no, regardless of music or not, like he's gonna be everywhere.
Well, I mean, that's somebody that they're on top of their shit. They're working hard. Like
he keeps me on top of my shit. So
that's dope, man. So as somebody from that you're Anaheim and you guys are do shows in Fullerton and stuff from that perspective, what do you think of like the Orange County music scene?
I like where it's at right now. Yeah, I really do. Like, because a couple years ago, like, I think I talked about it one day on Instagram. I think I posted it up or something. But a couple years ago, it wasn't like that. Yeah. You know, like Anaheim artists couldn't go perform in Fullerton comfortably. You know, like it wasn't a thing. Mm-hmm. And then, there wasn't as much unity as there is now. Like I felt it was more egos back then, like a few years back.
Yeah, I feel like the people are more willing to work with each other now, I think.
Now, because I think people are starting to see the big picture. Mm-hmm. Like, they're starting to see, like, what the movement is actually bringing. Like, the attention is starting to bring, maybe. You know, it's still beginning stages, but, I mean, it's there.
Yeah, and like you said, it could be like a mecca of music in the future.
I mean, that's really what I feel like. Any real Orange County artists out here that's really passionate about what they do and what where they represent their hometown, like any city from here. If it's Orange County, it's like fuck with each other, period. Because we don't have anything right now. We have nothing. Like, I mean, we have what we have right now, what we're working with, but like I said, like
together,
why can't we have an orange carpet? Fuck a red carpet. You know what I'm saying?
Shit.
Why not? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to have us be on that type of shit. Like, why wait for one of us to get a Grammy? If they don't want to give us one, let's have our own setup, our own awards, our own ceremonies.
And I like the idea because I feel like some people that are trying to make music out here, they're like, oh, I gotta get to LA, but it's more about like, let's have everybody come to OC. How about that?
Yeah.
And I think that's what's gonna make a difference.
I feel like if we become the next go-to, like that's a big look for anybody or any artist out here, because the talent is here. It's just like I said, egos get in the way.
We gotta get the eyes out here.
That's the main thing.
So somebody that's been making music for a while in the scene, is there anybody you still like are looking to work with or in Orange County?
Yeah, man, there's a lot of people I want to work with. Yeah. Ray B. I fuck with Ray B. Yeah. Travis Chase. I fuck with Travis Chase. Who else? Me and Maserati got to do more stuff. Yeah. Pex. Homie Pex. One. Yeah. Me and Vista are gonna get on more. I mean, there's a bunch of people. If I've already tapped in with you, then we got some stuff already. But
shout out Vista, man. That song Mortal Kombat is one of my favorites from last year. That was fire. Yeah. So as somebody that's I read in the article, like that, I mean, for you're gonna be making music for a while, but is this gonna be like you only want to make music, or do you want to do other creative stuff in the future?
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm trying to branch off into other things. I feel like music is just a stepping stone right now. So while I feel like I'm in my bag as far as that, I mean, I'm gonna just run with it until I can capitalize off of it. Yeah,
And you're making all the right moves, man. You're performing. Whenever I see you perform, it's full of energy and people enjoy it. So it's dope, man. So what are you doing next? I know that you're gonna release something, right? Pretty soon in the summer.
Yeah. I got a EP coming up called Summertime 09.
Nice.
So that's the next one. Yeah. That's set to release next month. Actually.
Summertime 09. What is it about that time that you're like, I have to make a project about that time?
I feel that was like probably the most fun I had as a young, dude coming up in Anaheim. Like the most fun I had, and then like the most like bad like shit happening. Went through some shit. Yeah, man, it's almost like the summer was cool, and then before the summer it was fucked up. The summer was cool, and then right when summer ended, it got fucked up again. Yeah. So like, and then it was just really eye opening. You know what I mean? It was like I was like 17, like about to leave high school. Damn. So it was like a real like time in my life where I didn't even know I was gonna be here. Yeah. Like I wasn't planning to even make it this far, really. Wow. So.
Yeah, man, that's cool that it was such a transformative year. I'm sure that you went through a lot of like stuff that you look back and you're like, damn, but it made you who you are today, like you said. And I'm excited to hear this project when it drops, man.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate you.
Yeah, so you're gonna do a verse on one of these beats that you sent us, and really, really excited about that. Before we do that, though, we have this segment called 60 Seconds with. So this is just first thing that comes to mind. You ready for this?
Yep.
All right.
We'll do it.
Let's start with 60 Seconds with Villiami. We'll start with favorite cartoon character.
Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Oh, okay, that was a good one. Favorite song right now.
Body for Body.
One word to describe you when you were a kid.
Trouble.
You have a hidden talent.
I don't think so. No.
Netflix, Hulu, or HBO?
A book.
Name of your best friend in high school.
Weed.
First CD you ever bought.
D12.
First song you illegally downloaded.
Damn. This was LimeWire, so like I have to think back.
Like some early 2000s stuff thing.
It had to be like a Young Jeezy song or something, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Jim Carrey or Will Ferrell?
Jim Carrey.
Dave Chappelle or Eddie Murphy?
Dave Chappelle.
Rapping Drake or R&B Drake?
Rapping Drake, because he could rap.
Yeah. Early 2000s hip hop or early 2010s hip hop?
Early 2000s.
And now 60 Seconds with Villiami on The Rodriguez Show.